asking yourself, Kirk, what the fuck is the title of this video? What the hell is an Anamanaguchi? Well, I'll put it this way. Do you like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the video game? Do you like video game music? Then, by default, you like Anamanaguchi. Anamanaguchi is a chiptune band that has been around for a pretty long time, I'd say at least over 20 years. And of course, they did make the fantastic soundtrack for the first Scott Pilgrim video game, and then also the second Scott Pilgrim video game that is yet to be released. Anamanaguchi is one of those bands that has always kind of had like a very dedicated but niche audience. One of the biggest hits that I can remember from recent times would be their song they did with Hatsune Miku called Miku. This is that group. So I've never gone ahead and seen them before, so this is a first time experience. So my girlfriend and I went to New York City to the venue Brooklyn Steel to go ahead and check out Anamanaguchi. Now, as far as what I was aware of beforehand, there were a couple of songs that I checked out before. I went to the concert to kind of get a vibe for what to expect. From what I know them from is the Scott Pilgrim video game, because I spent hours and hours and hours playing that game way back when it first came out. And then when it finally got re-released, I got to experience it all over again. And of course the Hatsune Miku song as well. So I had kind of a general idea on what to expect. While Anamanaguchi does specialize in video game sounding music and chiptunes, this most recent album anyway, which I was able to get at the concert, kind of breaks the mold a little bit. This has a lot more like vocals, and it has the chiptune stuff is still in the background, but it's a lot less heavy. It's more akin to a punk rock album, which is certainly right up my alley, so I genuinely really like it. But I could understand that for longtime fans of things like the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack or Endless Fantasy might kind of get tonal whiplash based on like the super video gamey sound, and then, okay, now we're going to do a punk rock song. I think it's not a bad thing to go ahead and experiment and change your sound, and I do think the album is pretty good for what it's worth. It's just different. Now, talking about the show itself, we got there at a pretty standard time. Brooklyn Steel kind of looks like a warehouse. Again, very small venue, totally gives me those awesome punk rock vibes that I'm so used to. The opener was a group or artist by the name of Father Koi. I don't really have too much to say about Father Koi. I mean, they were the opener. They seemed very nice, you know, they looked like teenagers, but they seemed very nice. The singer kind of had like an auto-tune filter as she was like talking and singing to kind of add a little bit more of like the robotic kind of electronic sound, which tracks with the type of stuff that Anamanaguchi would have. I think that for what it was fine. You know, we got audience interaction, we had a little bit of fun, we got to dance, and it was enjoyable. My advice would be to lean into the robot sound a little more. It sounded pretty cool at points, and I'd like to see some more of what can be done. Keep making content and keep performing, and I think eventually you'll find the audience that you're looking for. It just takes time. I do want to point out that there was one point when the second group was out, and I was standing out front. I actually saw the singer come up, and I wanted to get a picture, but I felt really awkward because I looked like this, and my girlfriend was in the bathroom at the time, so I didn't want to be like, hey, can I get a picture with you? So, full disclosure, I totally wanted to, but I was embarrassed. One point during the show, and I felt really bad because I know what this feels like, where the microphone started to turn off and we couldn't hear anything. And the crowd was very nice. They were very supportive. Like, nobody was like, you know, heckling or booing or anything. And I think that she did a good job going ahead and kind of muscling through it, figuring out how to make it work, and then kind of coming back to go ahead and wrap up the song. I've certainly had performances myself where like microphones go off, and it's always rough. You know, my heart goes out to folks who got to go through that. But ultimately, I liked them. The second group, I don't know what the fuck the name was. I tried looking it up on Reddit, and there was no like merchandise or anything. I gotta say, I did not vibe with the second group. So what it consisted of was two individuals, and there was a computer, and then the other person was like rapping or mumbling or yelling. I didn't get it. I don't like being hit with like a wall of like sound, so, you know, didn't enjoy that all that much. On the next clip, I actually took a step outside to kind of get away from the loud sound, and this is how loud it was when I was outside of the performance room. I don't want to be mean. It may not, it's just not a thing that's for me. I'm sure there is an audience for whatever this was or whoever this is out there. I am just not that audience. So again, not a mood killer by any means. I understand there's probably going to be some sort of computer or electronic music, but the whole wall of sound, yelly, rappy thing, yeah, not for me. Totally not for me. If anyone knows who the group is, you can let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know who they were, so I can kind of do a little bit more investigating, but no idea. I really don't have too much else to really add. After the Wall of Sound, we were introduced to a really, really cool band called Of Love. Avla fucking rocked it, man. The singer actually threw out his voice or got sick or something, so his voice was kind of scratchy when he was talking, but I really couldn't tell from the way they were playing. Very standard punk rock stuff, very fun, very interactive, very friendly. There were a lot of people that knew the bands personally in the audience that were kind of shouting out to them when they were getting callbacks and all that, which was nice. You know, I always appreciate the more intimate kind of performance, and Avla fucking killed it, man. Is a band that I suppose had been friends with Anamanaguchi for a while, considering that the singer from Anamanaguchi came out to do a song with them at the end, which was also really cool to see. One thing that I noticed, and you'll see with the footage here, people were recording with 3DSs. I don't know why they do that for Anamanaguchi. I guess it's just a thing of the fandom is for people to record with a 3DS. I think it's cool. You know, I can appreciate like the old electronic vibe, or maybe they're trying to get a different sound out of it. Or maybe it's just a meme in the community, but I noticed that during Of Love that multiple people were recording with 3DSs, so that was fun to see. Of Love gave a really, really good performance. I really don't have too much else to say. Punk rock band, sounded really good, sounded really fun, and I liked them a lot. One thing that I was kind of interested to see live is how they were going to do like the video game sounding music, like the chip tunes and stuff. Unfortunately, they didn't show me their secrets. You know, I didn't get to see how the magic was made. It sounded to me that they had like a mixer or someone playing those portions like in the sound bay behind me while they were doing like guitars, drums, and all that stuff on stage. Worked great, sounded great, had an awful lot of fun. I would have liked to see how the magic is made, but I guess it's their secret formula, and they don't want anybody else seeing that. Layer the music is rather than just playing the electronic stuff, is they would play, you know, the riffs and melodies and all that over the chip tune with the guitars. So it sounded really, really cool, kind of more closer to like punk rock versus strictly chip tunes. Like if you listen to their music, it's all like bloopy noises and stuff, which is fine. I love the video game sound, but live is a different experience, and a very, very good one at that. Few songs that I did know over the course of the night, we did get favorites like Prom Night, which I really like, Meow. They did play that one song from Undertale that I forget, but it's the one that you get from the pacifist ending, like the ultimate pacifist ending. Everyone was going crazy for that. Like people were moshing and punching and stuff, and I'm like, I've never seen people get so worked up over Undertale before. They, of course, did play Miku. They did play Endless Fantasy as well, which is also a really, really fun song. And they did play a good number of songs from Anyway. Like I said, there were points where the tonal shift was kind of a little bit jarring. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's like they play like punk rock song, and we're going to go play this crazy video game dance one. So, you know, tonally, not bad, but I could see where people might be turned off a little. Was a little bit disappointing is that they did not go ahead and play any songs from the Scott Pilgrim album. I was hoping they would play Another Winter, which is like the intro stage song for the first stage of the Scott Pilgrim video game. I would have liked to hear it, but because they're from New York and they did play a couple of extra stuff, like they brought out the singer from a band by the name of Sobs to go ahead and sing with them. So they did have some extra fun stuff for the New York show specifically. Enjoyed the light thing in the back, like the big loopy light thing. And what was cool is that towards the end, like I guess during their encore, they had this giant cord from that light thing, and they would throw it in the audience, and you could grab it and dance and jump. It's kind of hard to see in the video because there was so much moving, but it was an awful lot of fun. smaller venue like this, you do get a more intimate performance than things like seeing The Who or My Chemical Romance nowadays. And it's been a while since I've got to enjoy a show like that, and I'm really, really glad that I got to. They were fun. They like to talk to the audience. They talk to each other, bringing up other band members from other groups up to play. It was kind of like a party. Now let's go ahead and let's get into the merchandise. I was debating on getting the Ramona Flower shirt, where she's kind of like a trashy e-girl, and she's like this. It didn't have my size, and it sold out like really, really quickly. So the Ramona Flower shirt was not available, so I ended up getting the Mega Man one instead. It's funny because his name is Rockman. He's rocking out in the guitar. This shirt is actually the one that is worn by Ramona Flowers in that same shirt I was just talking about, so that's kind of like, oh, she's wearing a shirt on a shirt on a shirt. What more can I really say about Anamanaguchi that the clips don't say for themselves? Video game sound, punk rock sound, awful lot of fun. It was a good time. I recommend that if you have an interest in electronic music or even like punk rock or video game music, go ahead and give them a try. And listen to their stuff too. If you'll notice, a lot of their songs on YouTube will have like millions and millions of views because it's just that kind of thing that is very popular and very, very viral, especially with how fun the music can be. But I think that when it comes to live performances and like actual record sales, I feel like they kind of can struggle a little bit, only because it's one of those things that might be a hard sell to a lot of people. But if Anamanaguchi comes around to you, go ahead and give him a shot and give him a whole lot of love. Well, thank you guys so very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.